afternoon, Mike Barton here. I'm at Mount Scottney Resort, and I'm going to do the Overland pre-ride week before the race. I imagine it's going to be pretty wet. Of course, 55 miles, 7,000 feet. Realized I forgot to lube my chain, so I found sunscreen in the car, so that'll have to do. So that's what we're running, a little sunscreen lube. Just wrapped up Pave 2, little bridge behind me there. That's about the only tricky spot in the whole downhill Pave. There's some parallel boards, just be careful going across that, otherwise Pave looks good. It's wet as you'd expect, but more rideable than you think. All right, about mile 20 at the Reading food shelf, the pantry. I think this is aid number 1. Pretty, not drinking a lot today because it's pretty chill out, but a little bit cool. But I think race day, we'll probably have a bottle done here. And let's see, the third Pave, it was fun.
Ben True rides class 4. Yeah! Class 4 Slayer. Yes. This is Pave number 3 on course. Count Farm Road. Longest one. I am way underbiked.
You want to have some nutrition right before you hit that Pave, because it's probably a good 10 or 15 minutes where you won't be able to eat or drink much. So I would recommend taking a nutrition hit there. And that Pave is all rideable. It's pretty solid, not too slippery. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. All right, Rich's Trail. This is the entrance to it. It's pretty muddy usually, hard. I'll let you know what I see at the top. But this is usually one of those trails where you might be able to ride it and pre-ride, but racing is really hard. All right, Rich's Trail. Got up to about here. There's normally you can get through right about here, but it's just a little bit washed out right down there. You can't quite get traction, so I think it's definitely walking here, even on pre-ride. So definitely race day. Just wrapped up Rich's Trail, and it was definitely hard. A little bit wet, a little rocky in the past, but it's all rideable except for the uphill few spots that I showed you. 3 spots actually. Now I'm off to this new Pave. I'm excited about it. Instead of going down Pope Road, we're taking a right-hand turn up here somewhere. So I'll be curious to see what that looks like. That was fun. That was that new Pave replacing Pope Trail. Super fun. Not too steep, carrying good speed, just a few water bars. You can see them pretty easily. Pretty smooth. That was fun. 34 miles in, lots of climbing. Just reached the top of Caper Hill. And looks like we have another Pave. The entrance looks pretty tame. We'll see what he's got in store for us on this one. All right, that was a good one. The first few hundred yards were butter, smooth flow. Then we got into a little bit of a rock slab descent. It was all rideable, all fine. Just want to watch your line, stay in the line, you'll be good. And there was one little tricky intersection, just go straight through it. I actually took a right and then quickly realized that I took that too soon. So just go straight through there. And just after you go through that intersection, you'll hit the downhill. All right, off to the next section. This will come as no surprise to anybody that knows me. I got a dead battery and stuck in the hardest gear. So now I'm gonna be walking the hills, I guess. And yeah, there you go. I'll change my batteries before next week. I suggest everybody else do the same thing. Charge your batteries, change them. And let's say 6 miles to go, so see how this works out. All right, just completed the pre-ride, and turns out there's a pre-party also here, and enjoying that. Tough course. Pave sections are decent shape considering all the weather we've gotten. Rich Trail's the only one that's probably the worst for the wear. All the others are actually pretty good, and there are several of them that are just downright fun. Hey, the dirt roads are in good shape. Hopefully that stays that way. That's the one benefit of the rain. Most of the roads are free of loose marble, so it's fun. Climbing, there's about 7,000 feet, and she's hard. I'll give you a shot of the bike here in a minute to show you what here we are, 55 miles of Vermont Overland. A little muddy, not bad. And looks like the like the sunscreen chain lube did its job, not so bad. Probably like a wax lube, I guess, if you will. So there's a setup, and see you next week.